Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Jessica. It's time for another episode of the Summer Book Club. This time we're on Chapter 8, which is about mothering and career issues. This is part of our Summer Book Club collaboration, so if you go down below, you'll have links to everyone else in the book club, and you can watch what they have to say on this topic. The very beginning of the chapter starts with Proverbs 31, which I just saw and thought was amusing because approximately 50% of all women who have a funeral at our parish choose Proverbs 31. Well, their family chooses it for the first reading at the funeral. And if you've ever listened to the whole of Proverbs 31, it goes on for a long time. I've at times joked with one of my deacons that sometimes is doing the funerals that, when I die, I don't want Proverbs 31 read. This woman is doing everything and her husband is just sitting there. Like, literally, part of it is that he goes and sits by the city gate, which, of course, was a favored position at the time in that culture. But she's spinning and weaving and buying and planting and managing. I mean, I'm just exhausted listening to this passage. And then the actual chapter itself starts out with a story about the cocktail party question, as she calls it, of when you're getting together with a group of people who you may not know all that well, and the first question they ask is, what do you do? And about how for years she had a problem with answering that, she's a wife and a mother, and quite often would add in, other information like, I help at my kid's school, I do this activity, I do that activity, as if to bolster what she does. And that she finally got to the point where she can answer happily, without hesitation, that she's a mother. And then if they continue talking to her, they'll get all this other information of other work she does. Then, of course, talks about the vocation of motherhood. It points out various saints who have said things about, giving to the Lord, even if it's small things, like Saint Therese and her little way, because sometimes it's not fun and exciting if you're just staying at home with a kid. The kid's not going to be like, oh, I have rated your performance on your diaper changing skills, and I give you a 9 out of 10. You need to work on slightly more happy, silly sounds, but besides that, it was great. No, they're going to ask you for, scrambled eggs for 10 minutes, and then when you give it to them, they're going to say they're not hungry and throw it on the floor, because that's what kids do. And then it also talks about if you work outside the home and arranging your life so that, kind of balancing things out. The next chapter we're going to get to is on time management, so it only touches into this here, but it includes things that are useful for both if you're working outside the home and inside the home for advice of things to do. So it includes things like sites where you can get a occasional babysitter. So if you're normally a stay-at-home but you have an event to go to, ways you could find a reliable babysitter that you can trust, either because they've been vetted from various organizations, or ways to go and, contact with people that you trust to get their recommendations. As always, it ends with homework, and the homework includes things like taking time to enjoy your time with your kids, because they will grow up fast, as all things that talk about kids do. Meeting with your spouse to go and discuss things. Define short and long-term career goals, and of course make strategies for them. And once again, making sure you have a strong support system. And as always, it ends with the web resources. So go down below, check out all the links, hit the subscribe and the bell button so you're notified when our next episode comes up. And until next time, remember to live your faith, love your faith, share that love.